Okay, so I'll take 1 more minute to set it up for you. Just let me turn on the recording. You're good to go, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Super. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome Tinat Atifa Masood. Tinat, before I introduce you to Tinat, Tinat is actually my very good friend. And for the audience, Tinat is a writer by choice, an actor for fun, and a lover and a dreamer by default. She's a accredited journalist, a social political activist, producer, director, poet, blogger, a singing enthusiast, and over 30 years of comparing behind her. Awarded as a Youth Icon of India 2013 and the Nari Shakti Award in 2018. She is proud to have certified the mental as the president of 2016-17 for Rotary Club of Guwahati, the second woman to lead the oldest club in the city, and certainly she's a PhD scholar from Don Bosco University. Welcome, Tinat, to our talk, and we are eager to understand the beautiful journey you had in your life. Your, your you have a lot of things to share. You have a lot of experience in life. We are eager to understand what happened. I mean, we have a subject which is not a very common one. So what happened to you? I mean, there is a afterlife stuff happened. You died or what happened?
Yeah. Uh, Hi, Arjit. Thank you for having me in your program. It's a privilege for me, in fact, that you have invited me because to be talking to such a stalwart, I call you a stalwart because you're an ideator. You are, I mean, you're an amazing person. You have done things when nobody even thought of it. So I'm really privileged that I'm in your event, your program, your show. I mean, call it what you may. But yes, it's a different subject altogether. I think I've heard some of your extremely wonderful persons who have resource persons who you had invited, and there are some amazing people that you had called, and I really loved listening to them. And the kind of things that they said, I've learned so much from your shows, from these particular programs that you have had. Yes, right now I'm in a lockdown with my father, and it's a blessing of sort, I think, because this is the kind of time always wanted to have with him, because I grew up without him when I was in Shillong, and I was in Shillong with my mother, and my father was working in Guwahati, and he would travel in the weekends. So getting to know him better, getting to know that he's the artist, that quiet person, loving to watch movies, and doing his art, and then loving to have his chow mein. So all these things. It's a part of a very romantic kind of a relationship that I'm enjoying with my father right now during the lockdown. My son and husband are back in our home, and they are, of course, enjoying their own bit of life. But yes, Arijit, this lockdown was absolutely necessary for me. Why? Because my friends thought that I was going too fast in life. I was jumping from one thing to the other. Loved being on stage. I always loved being on stage. You know that. I've met you on the stage itself. So I have always loved being on stage. But you know what happened on the 21st of November, 2019? I had a terrible fall in the bathroom. The first time I went to the washroom, I remember, but the second or the third time that I went to the washroom, I don't remember. I fell, I hit my head on the floor, and I had a linear fracture. And I went into coma stage because my father was unable to decipher what was happening to me. And what happened exactly was that when my husband found me, ultimately, when he called up at 12, that was I had the fall. It was at 8:30 in the morning. And when I finally, when my husband found me, that was at 12:30 in the afternoon. I was without any life support for all these many hours. So by the time he found me, when he came and he touched my pulse was gone. My right eye got fixed. I had stopped breathing, and I was in a coma stage. I
My
was
God.
immediately taken to the GNRC hospital, which is nearby, which is home. And I was put into the emergency, and the doctor said, "Oh my goodness, you brought in a half dead woman. What are we supposed to do?" Until then, they could not understand what was happening to me. They were thinking that maybe it's an epileptic kind of a attack, which I never had. I don't have a history of epileptic attack. Then they thought they couldn't. They were delaying with their medication. So my husband was getting very pensive. He was saying, "Bucken up, just do things very fast." They were not doing it. Suddenly, my father said, "I think she had a fall in the bathroom." And that is when they started, kind of doing things a little faster. Then they realized, when they put all those things onto me, what happened was that I had my convulsions because I had the linear fracture, which was totally, it was not, I mean, nobody was aware of it. I had my convulsions. I was clenching my teeth. My eyes was contorted. My blood had rushed to my face, and all those things happened. And suddenly, as they were treating me, the doctors were at me. I was declared, I was dead. Those movies that you see with that straight line, that had happened. And my husband immediately started saying, "Oh my God, the woman is dead. What are you guys doing?" And I said, "No, no, 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 no.
Tinat? Oopsie. You're back? Tinat?
Why don't you, can you hear me?
We lost in between. We lost the connection in between. Could you please repeat yourself? Can you hear me?
In between, right.
Yeah. So we lost you in between when
Yes,
you,
I can hear you.
yeah, yeah. So could you please repeat because of the network failure, I guess
So
we
my
lost you.
Yes. So my husband got very pensive, and he said, and he told the doctor, "I mean, this woman is dead. Are you going to do something?" Immediately, he was taken out. And the thing that my husband said, the one thing that my husband said was that he was shaking like a leaf because he did not know what answer he would give my son. What would he say? He said, I can give him food, I can give him a home, I can give him everything, but I can't give him a mother. And his mother was dead at that point of time. What answer? As I'm telling you this, I'm getting goosebumps, Arijit. As you know, every time I tell this story, I always get goosebumps. So then what happened? Immediately these doctors, they sent him outside, and they gave me CPR. As you might be aware of this, and you know so many things, there's this golden hour. And if I happen to cross that golden hour, if I had crossed that golden hour, probably I would not be sitting and talking with you like this. But you know um, luckily, I don't know how it happened, I crossed over that golden hour, and I'm here talking to you. And I'm glad, because the things that went through during that time, I don't remember anything. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying I remember, because in the hospital, I was in coma for 10 days.
My God.
For 10 days, I was in coma. There were people who were visiting me. I was talking to them, but nothing was registering in my head. They told me later that, "Yes, Tinat, you did talk to me, but I said, you came to see me. I don't remember this." And I was, Arijit, even at that point of time, I remember one thing that I told my husband, and that was like a flash of, it was a kind of a memory which is still there. I told him, "Why are you keeping me in the hospital? I'll be better when I go back home." Because as you know me, I'm a person who loves life,
Yep.
and a person who is always craving for some sort of special moments, special things which will happen in my life. So I probably did not want to die at that point of time, not at all. And that's why I told him, "Take me home. I know I'm going to get better when I'm at home. Why are you keeping me here?" And I was totally unaware that I had a fall, I was in coma, I had died, and everything, all those things happened. I came to know of my death only when one doctor, after I was thanking the hospital, when one doctor wrote, "Yes, Tina, we actually lost you, but you came back miraculously." There was one doctor, very famous doctor, Dr. Subhash Khanna from Assam, and he's a neurologist. He said, he called me up and he said, Tinat, I've gone through your report, and believe me, you are a miracle patient. You know why? Because only 2% of these people survive. 98% of people do not survive this trauma that you had gone through. And the 2% who survive usually cannot walk, cannot talk, do have a problem with their, their mental problem, because the doctors had said she was going to lose her memory. But when I say defragmentation, I would use that word defragmentation is because my memory has come back in full speed, and it has come back in full force. And the things that I could not remember in the past, it is now more, it's like, my computer system is a new computer system I've got, actually it's a new computer set that I've got. My entire system is defragmented. People said she wouldn't be able to remember anything. She would not be able to walk. She would not be able to talk. But then everything is happening so well. It's happening so fast. Maybe I am linking this because I have this very, very great desire to live, to survive, and to do things which are miraculous. And that is why I'm called a miracle patient. And that is how, my life has come this far. And when I say defragmentation, and the other word I used is rediscovering. You know, Arijit, before all this happened, this is a new life. On the 21st of November 2019, this is absolutely a new life for me. It's a new birth. But before that, when I look back now, I see that I had not done the things that I am talented with. I had done only one thing, and that was I was on stage. I was on stage and I was just doing the things in a very mechanical way. Now, during the lockdown, when I sit back and I say, wow, I can do a lot of painting. Wow, I can write every day. I can write my poems every day. I write an article every day. I can cook. I was the worst cook, Arijit. I did not put salt in any kind of, any vegetable you eat. You're going to say, my
Oh
God, I
my
can't eat
God.
this. Add salt. I was that bad. Now my dad loves my cooking. He says, oh, wow, you have improved. You're really doing very good. So, things like that, this lockdown has kind of given me the space to slow down, take one moment at a time, one little thing at a time, and discover and say, wow, I can do this. And there are so many things going through my head. I say, okay, I think I can do this, and I will do it. I'm not procrastinating. Simple thing. I was wanting to start a YouTube channel for a very long time, and I haven't been able to do it. And you know that I love children, and I wanted to do these videos for children, for young people. And I've never been able to get the time or the opportunity, or the circumstances kind of were not on my side. So when this happened, I said, this is the time to start. And that is when I started, I started speaking. So every Sunday, it has happened that I've started doing these videos. And
Super.
it has become a series. Yes, this has become a kind of a series. So when I say rediscovering and defragmentation, I am doing things which I thought was impossible before the 21st of November. Before my death, I always thought my life was going to be very ordinary. And let me tell you one very interesting thing here, very, very interesting. I'm a poet of sorts, not a very fantastic poet like Rabindranath Tagore. I'm not, but I'm a very small poet, very small one. I composed a poem 2 years back. This is like somewhere in 2018. So I am planning to come up with my second poetry book this after the lockdown is over. I was editing my poetry book, and Arijit, strangely, I chanced upon a poem where I'm talking to the god of death. He had actually taken me away, and then I am actually, I'm talking to a man of science. Again, please don't, think I'm very superstitious. No, but then, if you add two, three things, then what happens is I'm talking to the god of death, and god of death actually takes me away. And then I tell him, please don't take me away now. It's not my time. I have a lot of things to do. And that's what God says. God of death says, Yamraj, you can call him. I love Yamraj, in fact. He tells me, fine, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back in full force to pick you up. But you will have to prove a universe of things. You cannot just be an ordinary person. You cannot just be a person who is just whiling away her time and living her life as if you don't have a goal in hand. No, you're not going to do that. You are going to do extraordinary things. And this lockdown has given me a chance to think about God of Death. When he said that, I said, yes, I am not procrastinating. I'm going to rediscover myself. I'm going to find out what I'm good at, and I'm going to actually carry out those things.
Let me
So
tell
this has
you, let
been a
me tell you one,
fantastic blessing for me.
let me tell you
And
one beautiful,
this rebirth,
let me tell you
yes,
one beautiful fact of life. So, well, yes, certainly I'm a man of science, but sometimes, when people don't understand something, when logic, normal logic, don't work in real life, we call it as magic. Okay. So, magic is basically, I'm talking about the so-called spiritual magic stuff, which people sometimes understand that, well, no, this is something superstition. Well, there is nothing called superstition. I mean, it's all about the kind of strength, kind of energy that you have inside your soul. So, God of death or God of life is actually you. Every human being have that kind of power. They can have that sort of ichha mrityu, which was long, long time back, around I think 6,000 years back in Mahabharata. Bhishma had that kind of strength. Every human being have that kind of capability to understand their own life, and they are master of their own life and death. The kind of experience you had, honestly speaking, is really, really remarkable. But I feel you actually came back to life, and most probably your life energy is asking you to do more than whatever you have done so far in corporate life, rather than
right.
connecting directly with the nature and do more and more stuff, so that nature gets a lot of energy and it can give you a lot of energy. I'm really proud that I know you, and actually I know you from a very different note. You are one of my superhero in one of my certainly game. And although I call you as master of swords, so hopefully that life of sword is with you, and with your beautiful creative hand, you can do a lot more stuff in life. And I wish that it comes back multifolded, so that people can gain more experience. I know the kind of beautiful work you are doing for society. Could you please tell our audience about the kind of social work that you do for the sex workers, for the children's, so that they can understand that why afterlife is required for a person like you, so that they can stay back in this mortal world and they can do various work for those poor souls. Could you hear me? Is it was okay
Yes.
or okay?
Uh, Arijit, I would like, yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you. I
please
can
go
hear
ahead.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to, yeah, I would like to add something more here that when I came back to life, my doctor had told me that I'm supposed to take rest. I'm not supposed to run because last year I had done a run for 3 kilometers in Pinkathon, and this year in November I plan to do a 5 kilometers. Like I want to go in stages. So the first thing I asked when I went for my checkup was, "Will I be able to run again?" And he didn't answer anything. I said, "Okay, fine. He wants me to rest. I will do that, but I'm going to go slow." So I started walking first, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. Now I can do a 5 kilometer run. So what I want to tell the young people, especially when you are telling me what do you do for the young people, what happened? For this, I have to go back to a story. I have to tell you a small little story. In 2009, what happened, Arijit, is that I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to speed my car. I wanted to jump over the Horaighat bridge. All those kind of things, I had in my mind. And you will ask me why so? You're a very happy person. Nobody can believe it when I say that I wanted to kill myself in 2009. What happened was when my son was born in 2006, after that, I put on so much weight. I'd become around 90, 95. And nobody was calling me to the stage. Even some of the people who knew me, they said, my God, under these circumstances, we will never invite you, Tinat. You are looking terrible. Please do something. You're looking horrible. So, and then they stopped calling me. And I became so depressed, so sad, that in 2009, I was contemplating suicide. That's a terrible thing to do. Now, luckily, what happened is that I felt very, very selfish about it. My son was probably just 3.5 years old at that point of 2006, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 3.5 years old. And I was contemplating suicide. Just look at me, how selfish I was at that point of time as a mother. I was concentrating more on myself. When I see young people, when you're telling me what do you do for young people, I try to tell them this, that it's no point going and killing this beautiful life. Because once you snuff out this life, once you take away and kill yourself, it's gone. It's finished. And you're not going to get it back.
Yes.
And that is when I started something. I read a book called Stop Worrying and Start Living. This is by Dale Carnegie. I think you must have read it. You're a very avid reader. So this is a fantastic book. And I found out that all the worry that we have in our heads is actually nothing. Because for every lock, there is a key to every lock that happens in life. So if I had put on weight, my solution was I go to the gym, I work out, I do some dieting, I thin down. That is my only solution. But I was thinking of killing myself because I had a problem. But I see young people, I have this friend of mine who said, when he heard this story, he said, never think of this. Never ever think of killing yourself, because you are the best. Look at the blueprints with which God has created you with. And the blueprint is absolutely unique from anybody else. Arijit's is different, Tinat's is different, XYZ is different, is different. It is not the same. Even our fingerprint is different. It's not the same. We are millions and billions of people on earth, but we are not the same. We are so unique. And this unique person that we have inside ourselves, we need to live. We need to do things that are special. And that is why and this is when my concept called I am the best grew. My friend said, you are the best. Look at those eyes of yours early in the morning, go to the mirror, look at yourself and say, I am the best. And then I put in something. I said, I am the best. I started telling children, pat yourself and say this. Nobody will do this for you. Pat yourself and say, I am the best. I am the best. And children have started taking this concept full on. I had been a resource person for Oxford University Press. Then I am now with Headward. So what I do is I go down to the schools and colleges which are hello.
Yeah, we are here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So through Headward, what I do is I go back to go to the villages which are to the schools and colleges which are not so well off, not the high end schools. I go to the schools where there are children who are from a very poor families who are studying there. I go and I teach them the leadership qualities, and I tell them this is not the place for you to stay all your life. You have to dream. You have to dream and grow bigger. And I have seen these children get back to me, I want to be a minister. I want to join politics. I want to be a scientist. So initially, if they did not have a dream, after they had listened to my concept called I am the best, I formulated this a couple of years back, and I am the best has caught up with schools, with colleges, with teachers.
Yeah, we are. I can hear you. I can hear you. Don't worry. You're here with me. Hello.
I am the best has hello.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep. You're audible.
So yes.
Uh,
So can I speak?
yes, you can. Carry on.
Okay. Yeah. So this concept, which I had formulated a couple of years back, and this has caught up with a lot of schools and colleges, with teachers, with students, and they have found it really to be very, very exciting. So whenever these children meet me, these young people, and even the teachers and parents, they come back to me crying, and they say, "Ma'am, you know what? I really, I have the same story as you. I wanted to commit suicide. I
Connection is
wanted to do
unstable,
this,
most
but
probably.
then
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'm here. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
okay." So so whenever these children meet me, these young people, and even the teachers and parents, they meet me, they always do this: "I'm the best." Because I have told them that each one of you are unique, you are a blueprint in yourself, and you are absolutely, absolutely different from any person that exists on earth. And they have come up, there are many children who, they come back to me crying, and they say, "Ma'am, you know what? I have the same story as you. I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to also do this, but then your story has kind of helped me now to actually see life in a different light." So I feel very good that this concept has actually it has caught on, and with many people. So since I'm not being able to go for the trainings, even before the lockdown I had two trainings for two different organizations. So since I was not being I'm not being able to be with them, so my service is to the young people, to the people whoever is seeing my video, that look, this, you can actually alter everything in your life by your thoughts, and your mind is so powerful. If you can say that this life is beautiful, this is a beautiful life I have, I cherish each day, each moment, and I'm special. I think the world is at your feet.
True, true, true. Truly agree with all of your, life thoughts, and really, really inspired by your, afterlife story, I should say. And I'm happy to have and get back Tinat Atifa Masood with me, with life and with the
Thank you.
world. And don't go back to your, God of death. It's a warning. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you.
Thank you.
Well, Tinat, I feel that you should come back more often in my shows, and you should. I'll be more than happy to float a mentoring session with the young kids. Sorry about my voice. So I've been actually speaking since morning, so I'm really sorry. Voice went down. So I have a lot of young kids, college-going guys, school students who really need help, at least during this lockdown time. They are most probably suffering, and
Sure.
yeah, they are suffering a lot because their schools are not happening properly. Their colleges are not on the same track the way it was supposed to be. Everyone is suffering, but yes, there is a light that I can see. There is a big thing that is coming up, at least after the lockdown is over. And it's a world lockdown, nobody can
Yes.
do anything, and we are actually responsible for this. We are the human beings who are actually responsible for this. No one else is responsible. So mother nature
True.
warned us multiple times, sudhar jao. We never ever listen to those warnings. So maybe it's bound to happen anyway. So I'll be more than happy to have you maybe as a mentor, as a guide, and you can maybe talk to these people. They have a lot of questions from life. They need to understand how life it should be. At least in 2020 onwards, I can see kids, they are losing a lot of balance from life. Maybe they need some kind of guidance, and I'm sure that I have that, my good old friend with that steering, with that stick in her hand, and with that kind of attitude, you know with that kind of roaring attitude, I should say, you know to life. And we'll be happy to have you again in another show, maybe a mentoring show where you can talk directly to the young chap, right? And
Sure.
thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Assam, beautiful Assam, and
Yeah.
looking forward to see you again, Tinat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arijit. Thank you, Arijit. Arijit, I must thank you because at the end of this whole thing, I must tell you that you are an inspiration for many people and for me as well. When I look at you and the kind of work that you do, whether it's the technology kind of things that you're doing, and then as an entrepreneur, my actually my heart actually swells up in pride because I am a friend of Arijit Bhattacharya. So I really feel very good. I feel very sorry, Bhattacharya. And so we say Bhattacharya in Assam, so I said Bhattacharya. So Bhattacharya. So I'm really very proud of you. When I first met you in Infocom, I was in awe of this person. I was saying, wow, what a wonderful thing he does. He does animation, he does all this, and we are still a kid, no? We still love all these superheroes and we love all this stuff. So when you were doing this, I was always in awe of you. I'm still in awe of you. And the kind of work you're going global and everything, my God, amazing. Amazing. And thank you so much for having me in your show because
Tinat, let
I
me
am
tell you a
deeply
secret.
humbled.
Let me tell you a secret. I can only do all this kind of good stuff because of friends like you who are actually blessing me, loves me, and care about me. And that's the strength.
No, I really, really love you, Arijit. I totally love you because you're such an amazing person. Superb person you are.
Thank you
Superb.
so much. Thank you. Looking forward, Tinat.
Thank you. Thank you, Arijit. Bye. See you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.